Hello and welcome to another basketball show on New Zealand Sport Radio. Got it right that time, Paul. It's the NBA playoffs and we're almost at the conference finals. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot of footage, so I won't hold you up too much before we get into that. But firstly, the Milwaukee Bucks are out. 4-1 they were beaten by the Miami Heat, which is probably quite a surprise to most people. Probably 99% of people, it is very much a big surprise, especially that it was that one-sided. The Bucks were the best defensive team all season. They've got arguably the best offensive weapon in Giannis. And they just fell apart in the 10 or so games of the bubble before the postseason started. They had about a 50-50 record and they didn't look great. And I just sort of thought maybe they're going through the, just not quite focused and waiting for the playoffs. But the playoffs came and they weren't much better. So the Heat are going up into the conference finals against the Celtics, which we'll talk about. But also Billy Donovan, coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's gone. He decided he does not want to carry on with the franchise after 5 years. That team has had a stack load of talent over that period. They've made a conference finals, which they famously or infamously were beaten 3-1 by the Warriors there before the Warriors were beaten they came back from being 3-1 down to beat the Thunder in that series, the Warriors, and then the Warriors, after being 3-1 up against the LeBron James Cavs, they lost after being 3-1 up. Famously lost that series and then lost Kevin Durant in that postseason where he went to the Warriors and lost Westbrook and Paul George last postseason. They've had a lot of talent and probably haven't quite succeeded like their fans would like, even though they've been there or thereabouts and they've been in the playoffs. They've had 4 consecutive first-round exits. That's not good. So he's moving on. So it'd be interesting to see where Billy Donovan turns up because he is a great coach. Also, this postseason, the chat's all going to be about Giannis. What is Giannis going to do? He becomes an unrestricted free agent next season. So this off-season means he's a restricted free agent. So basically that means he can look at deals from other teams, but if he gets offered a deal, then his team gets the chance to match it, even if it's over the assigned salary cap. They're allowed to pay a bit more to keep their best player, which is Giannis. So is Giannis going to stay? If Giannis decides to leave next year, that means the Bucks get nothing for him. So what makes that important is they can trade. If they think he's going to leave and they're going to get nothing for him, they might trade him. But do you trade the best guy in the competition who has talked about being loyal? We don't know. We'll find that out, though. But right now, we've got some footage from the Lakers. I have to admit, this time last week, I said I thought maybe the Rockets would make it through and the series wouldn't be over. But the series is over and the Lakers are through. LeBron is just again proving why he is one of the greats. He's in another conference finals. I think this is his 11th conference finals. Something ridiculous. So the Lakers will be playing either the Clippers or the Denver Nuggets. But we've got some footage here from the Houston and Lakers game 5. I thought maybe this would be the year that Harden and Westbrook, 2 guys who would just struggled. They've been great players, MVPs, but haven't won in the postseason. I thought maybe they're together now. They're hungry. They're going to do it. This year might be the year, but no. They're gone. And also their coach is gone. He decided to leave as well. So another interesting offseason, but here we go with some footage from the game.
It may not be as an effective play.
And I agree. He's got to think score. And more importantly, if he does pass it, Russell Westbrook turned down a wide open 3.
Markieff Morris connects.
Since game one, the Lakers have had good starts. James drives inside, finds some room, and banks it home.
In one-on-one against LeBron James, he puts his head down and attacks the paint area. That's tough to defend and a tall task.
Finds its way to Covington, and Covington misses the layup. They've missed about 4 point-blank range shots at the rim. James drives down the lane and flushes. And there's the timeout from Mike D'Antoni.
Devastating in transition. And here, LeBron James, full head of steam and very little resistance at the basket.
That last Laker foul was on Danny Green, his first. James one-on-one with Covington, gets in the paint, gathers, and finishes, just overpowering down low. Terrific demeanor, coaching the 2 superstars. Shot blocked by James. Westbrook trying to get into the rim. James drives down hard, lefty layup. Shot won't go, but a foul, coast to coast for LeBron James. He'll get 2 free throws.
In the middle of the floor, and now you just got to make the right play. James did a terrific.
Lakers have done an excellent job of limiting three-point shooting as LeBron James knocks down the three-pointer.
Team, Westbrook flash to the middle, find him, and kick it out weak side.
And that's awful defense.
Off a make.
Off of a made shot.
They've gotten great contribution from their 3 bench guys.
James, corner 3, that's good. LeBron James now 5 of 7 from the field. He's got 14 points. Strong start for Kuzma off the bench. James pass deflected. Good defense once again. Caruso throws it back inside to James. Nice feed inside, and Morris with the finish.
The ball off of the stop. LeBron James unselfish. James Harden locked and loaded to take the charge.
James with a shot clock expiring. Down to 3. Danny Green, a contested shot is up and good. Danny Green with his second three-pointer.
In this movie before, Danny Green running the baseline, putting himself in the vision of the playmaker. Oh, step back, knock down 3.
Jeff Green, James's former teammate in Cleveland, guarding him. James drive and easily finishes around first half. Here in game 5, 2 quarters complete. Lakers by 11.
The Lakers were upset that Davis got sucked into the lane and Tucker got the corner 3.
Markieff Morris connects as the shot clock expires. Boy, Morris has really played well. Shot clock down to 6. James, three-pointer is good. LeBron James' 3rd three-pointer of the night. James on the drive. Inside to Davis, tried to tip it, ball kept alive, and James on the follow. James shoots over Tucker, drills it. LeBron James now with 26, and the lead is ballooned to 18.
He's got everything working tonight.
PJ Tucker battling. There's only so much you can do. Tucker's like all over him, but Davis, so big, so difficult, would yell at officials on calls. That's also has been told they need to refrain from that as well. Meanwhile, we still have over 6 minutes remaining in what has been a blowout for the Lakers.
So the Rockets, how disappointing was that blowout? They really should have competed a bit more. Russell Westbrook was cold all series. He wasn't the same player as he was. There was a period after the New Year to March, I think it was, before all the craziness of COVID. He was averaging 30 points on career high efficiency and field goal percentage. Got that little niggling injury, and then just came back for the last couple of games of the Thunder series there. And yeah, Russell just wasn't the player he needed to be. James Harden was sort of a playoff James Harden where he isn't the same player he is in the postseason. And Rockets again just cement Mike D'Antoni, the coach of that team. He's gone. He's gone. And there's rumors he could be going to the Thunder. That'll be interesting because the Thunder have guys who can play that fast game basketball, but a lot more guys who are unselfish. So unselfish, fast basketball. Thunder next year. There's a lot more action happening over the last few days as well. Celtics and Toronto went to 7 games. And before we talk about that series, we'll show you some footage. This is game 6. Sorry, we should get that. We'll get that back up and going for you now. Paul? Just having some technical issues there. So, oh, here we go. It just was trying that again. So some stats from game 6, which went into double overtime. 8 of the 10 starters played more than 48 minutes in that game. And that's the first time in NBA postseason.
Again, spins into the paint.
Here we go.
Double team, gets the layup shot, rolls off, gets his own rebound, back up and in.
You see the Raptors pretty much playing a zone right now. They won for 8 since then, but they're getting good looks. These are open corner shots.
Ibaka thought he got a piece of it. Smart looking to push. Jaylen Brown, the leading scorer in the game, adds to that. He's got 13. Brown goes at Ibaka, using the left hand. Off the glass is good. Sweet move from Jaylen Brown. 15 points.
The team has played boxing one and won a championship. I think tonight it's hurting them. Boxing one on Kemba Walker has created openings and allowed as Lowry knocked down the shot.
Walker hasn't scored in the game, but the Celtics still have the lead. Wanamaker had an open look, almost passed it up, and then knocks down another three. Had a layup there, and he kicked it out to Tatum, who wound up having a much more difficult time. Gasol knocks down the three, who have struggled, who could erupt at any time. Siakam, 1 for 7 tonight. Gets inside, count it, and the foul.
We can't wait for him to make a play. We have to be aggressive.
Tatum double team, finds Tice, and Tice with the slam. That's Jason. Siakam drives down the lane, running layup, count it, and 1. Drives hard, kicks it out. Williams back up top to Tatum. Tatum off the bounce, kicks it back to Williams. Corner 3 from the rookie. Got it again. Grant Williams. Shot clock at 7. Tatum against Anunoby. Pulls back, lost the handle. Here comes Anunoby. Tatum in pursuit, and Anunoby blocked the hole. Blocked by Tatum. Ball knocked out of Tatum. Extra pass. Brown, the corner 3. That's good. His first points in the second half. Shot clock was reset to 14. Siakam at the foul line. Off 1 foot, got it. Brown drives, adjusts, back out. Tatum fakes, pulls back, 3-pointer, puts it in. When the Celtics, Van Vliet jab step, now drives, gets into the paint, off balance, flips it up and in. Anunoby on him. Walker to Smart, shot clock at 5. Smart the drive, gets inside, scoop layup, count it, and 1 with the Smart throws it in to Tice, throws it down, and the game is tied with 2 minutes remaining. Lowry to inbound, he can still catch and shoot. Siakam for the win. Oh, almost banked it in, and we're going on. Walker with 4 to shoot. Walker, crossover, drives, just gets it off in time. Got it, Kemba Walker with Fred Van Vliet with Tice chasing him. Van Vliet drives baseline. Kicks it out to Powell, corner 3, ties the game. Minutes to go. Powell pulls up, 3-pointer, won't go, rebound Smart, double overtime. There's 45 plus. Ball poked away. Jaylen Brown throws it ahead to Tatum. Tatum goes up and throws it down. Incredible defense, individual and team-wise here tonight. Lowry drives and banks it home with the offhand.
There's that switch we talked about.
Alley-oop to Tice, another perfect pass from Marcus Smart. Tatum drives on Siakam, kicks it out, up top Walker, fakes, corner, Smart for 3, bang! Marcus Smart from Lowry, Anunoby, straight on 3, bang! OG Anunoby Smart to Tatum, Tatum off the bounce, stripped by Powell.
Powell with one man to beat. Drives into Smart.
Plenty of time remaining. Tatum against Lowry. Drives, sidestep, flips it up. Shot's good. 2-point game, and they don't have to foul. This is about a 10-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Trust your defense. And if you're a Raptors, eat clock and make sure you get a high percentage shot.
Lowry wants the ball. Walker isolated with him. Smart, though, leaning to try and help.
If you're the Celtics, you got to tell him there's no help. Sending him to his right. Set him middle and get help.
Lowry falling away. Got it. Kyle Lowry drills the jumper, and it's back to a 4-point lead. What a spectacular performance from the leader of the Raptors. He's got 33.
Guys, and it's the two best players for each team. It's Jason Tatum and Kyle Lowry. They're the two best players on the floor in this series. Jason Tatum is elevated to star status, I think, in this league, where you can really build your profile if you come through in a big way in Game 7. Now, it doesn't mean you have to completely carry them, but you got to have those moments. And if this game's tight in the fourth quarter, take over the game. And then for Toronto, I said to you before the show, I don't know that there's a player that is more identified with a particular team than Kyle Lowry is with the Toronto Raptors in terms of the way they play. And when you think of that team, you think of his toughness and his grit. He's got to be massive. And if there's one wild card between either team, it's Marcus Smart. He's the kind of guy that in a Game 7, you know he's not afraid. He's very capable of giving you a 4 or 5 3-pointer made game. Obviously, great defense. And he also can make plays off the dribble if that's
and you missed a dandy.
This was a great game. The champs went
All
down.
tied up at
Marcus
3
Smart for
games.
3 there.
Oh.
Raptors were down 12, close out the first quarter 20-7.
Serge Ibaka was big all series.
They dominated the bench in this series, but Boston,
Tell you what, man.
woo, look at that play.
Marcus Smart can play with me anytime.
Go get that one too.
Smart hustle points. Though Tatum hit that, and then Kyle Lowry.
Oh, get out
Tell
there.
you what, man. I love Kyle Lowry's heart, man. He was awesome.
Oh, give me that.
Smart again.
And won.
Made the free throw for the 3-point play. Van Vliet for 3.
Look up. I thought he was
Jaylen
hurt.
Brown, and then switch.
That could have been a groin right there, boy.
But he stays out of 16. 8 of his 14 did come in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
Boy, Tatum is a handful, is he not?
This is talking about a handful. This little man right here is a handful.
89-85. And here comes a huge play. And a 2-point game with the Raptors in transition. And there is Marcus Smart with the block.
That might have been a play of the game.
Yeah, it was a play to get. Oh, we got a little hand there, too.
Yeah, after the ball was blocked.
I'm not sure he should have took that against them 3
Oh,
guys.
we gotta lay that up, Kimber. Lowry fouls out here, and Grant Williams, the rookie, goes to the line for 2.
I don't even know how he found it.
2-point game. Rookie misses the first and misses the second, but
Got to
Jason
box
Tatum
out,
with
man.
the offensive rebound, and he would split free throws.
You got to box out of that situation. You should never give up an offensive rebound on a free throw.
90-87. How about this possession?
That's one of the worst possessions I've ever seen. That
You
was, I
gotta
don't know
get
what
the
the
ball
hell
up.
happened there.
Dribble the ball for 9 seconds.
That was just an awful play.
There was
You
a
talk about
terrible,
hard-fought
terrible shot
series.
selection.
You just saw one, and it went the distance between the Celtics and the Raptors, and the champs, the reigning champs, are dethroned. 92-87 is the final. Tatum going for 29, 12, and 7.
So there we have it. The Boston Celtics are going through to face the Miami Heat in the next round. That next round would be the conference finals. So whoever wins the conference finals there in the East will go against the winner of the conference finals in the West, which we'll get to shortly. We just got some more video footage for you, but some quick stats from that game 6. So that double overtime game. Both teams combined for 35 points in the second overtime. That is the third most in postseason history. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart from the Boston Celtics. The first trio of teammates to have 20 points and 10 rebounds each in the same playoff game since Larry Bird, Kevin Hale and Robert Parrish, also from the Celtics, who did that in 1987. Kyle Lowry finished with 33 points and now has 3 30-point games when facing elimination, which is the most in Toronto franchise history. And Norman Powell finished with the most points in an overtime period in franchise history with 10 points in the second overtime. So a lot of good stats here. A great game. One of the best games of basketball I've watched in a while. That game 6. And game 7 was just as good. Celtics going through, as I said. So now we've got some footage from the Clippers in Denver. Clippers were up 3-1 in that series, looking like they might easily go through. I said I think Denver might get one game back on that. It might end up being 4-2, but we're locked at 3-3. Denver winning games 5 and 6. So we've got some footage from those games for you as well.
All that well in game 4. Harris pokes it away. Beverly, corner 3. Pat Beverly in the first series against Utah. Murray averaged 31 points a game. Got the screen, pops the 3. Jamal Murray.
That's if he sets a good screen.
Jokic, Zubac's coming out. Oh, the claw got the ball. Jarred it free, picked up down low. Millsap. A lot of tangled defense down there. It's Leonard down court. Beverly against Jokic, and Beverly got it to go. Kawhi Leonard. Marcus Morris 3.
See all the attention.
Vacuumed in by Zubats. Off to George. Looks away. Kicks it out. On top Shamet. 3. Kawhi. Bullseye.
50-50 ball.
Coverage is on him. Missing right there. Another rebound for Leonard. He's got a couple. With Paul George getting a screen and popping a 3. Another one by John Zubats.
Going to make a quick move before the defense comes.
Doc's been talking about Zubats' defense. Look at him stick right with Murray. But Murray with a 2-0 run. Gary Harris will backpedal on Lou Williams.
Most consistent player for Denver in this series.
Jokic, floater on the floor. Before all this began was your pick. Oh! He'll crowbar that in. Pretty play.
That's what you wanted now.
Yep.
If you're Murray.
A lot of times have been sending Zubats out there to get him. Shot clock at 3. Murray will scoop it home.
In the restart.
8 to play. Murray will drive and get it. Nice play by Jamal. Rebound.
All right. Showing signs of life here.
Pickpocketed by Leonard. He'll pull up and unlace a triple. George blitz with George on Jokic. Millsap, corner 3. Shamet the close. 10-2 run Denver. Morris from Shamet. Triple.
Downtown. That's something he's been knocking down consistently in this series.
Kawhi, ring it up for Kawhi Leonard. Collected 11. Another double-double for him. He's a double-double machine, isn't he? 4 straight double-doubles for him. Blitz with George on Jokic. Millsap, corner 3. Shamet the close. 10-2 run Denver. Morris from Shamet. Triple.
Downtown. That's something he's been knocking down consistently in this series.
Kawhi, ring it up for Kawhi Leonard. Collected 11. Another double-double for him. He's a double-double machine, isn't he? 4 straight double-doubles for him. Murray, 3. Good! Big playoff season. A spinner by Morris short. Good defense again by Denver.
Here comes Michael Porter Jr.
Here comes Plumlee. Hold on. 13 minutes inside. Open is George. Jokic got it again. Yep. Harrell again. The collision, the drive into 3 defending Nuggets, and the ball knocked away. It's picked up by Murray. Cross court to Jokic. In the middle, Harris. Murray fakes the 3. Step back 3. Good. Hits another foul. Jokic, he'll tee one up from 3. Got it again. George the other way. Little crossover on Murray. 3 on that baseline. What a shot by George. Jokic on top. 2-point lead, Denver. It's winner go home. 3 Porter. Wow! What a bomb thrown up by Porter. Here comes George. Inside Zubats against Porter. Porter with the block. Porter with the block. It's outside. It's a three.
In that third quarter to start this run by Denver.
Here's George. Off to Kawhi. Three, Leonard. Oh, he's ruthless.
And Kawhi Leonard with a little bit of room service here.
That's great defense and anticipation by Leonard.
And Nikola Jokic now 5 of 6 from the field. He's got 10.
They just ran a catch and shoot play for a center as Lou Williams blows by and gets an and one. Well, we know what he meant by it. He wants the ball.
He's got it right now.
You can't remix it.
Hey, and there it is. He makes
You can come up with more.
lead is 9. Porter Jr. not shy. Butter. Michael Porter Jr. scored to Millsap, who's been pretty quiet. Back out to Jokic. 2 on the shot clock. Hoist an off-balance jumper. Oh! It finds net! Jokic.
Well, let's take a look. Oh, that's a good shot.
But that
Missing
possession
shots. Continue to compete.
Nice feed by Paul George. Zubats all over him. Just took it from him. Took his cornbread. Wow. George and one. Kawhi Leonard started the whole thing
in this series where they both played well simultaneously.
Leonard into Patrick Beverly. Off the bounce, scores it.
Not turning the ball over.
Murray looking quick, got it blocked. Great rejection by Paul George, who landed on Jamal Murray, who's still down at the other end, writhing in pain. Contact resulted in a hard landing right there. And Murray never made it back to the other end in defensive transition.
Well, just being in great shape. I mean, it's not a punishment as Jokic with a beautiful pass to a cutting Millsap. It's not punishment. It's trying to get them in their best possible condition.
Under 8.5 to go. The Nuggets trying to extend this to a game 7. Jokic forces one up. Murray working against Harrell. Nice crossover in traffic, and that's going to be a blocking and one. Jamal Murray.
And Murray turns the corner.
And the Nuggets looking to make their move. Their leading man, Jamal Murray, resurrected, reborn.
Jamal Murray concerned about his health. Everything seems all right. Got it going offensively and putting his team.
Get some good looks.
Great move by Murray. Takes it in and slams it home.
Spectacular move. My goodness.
Comfortable here because you've been here before. So what is it going to take to force a game 7?
Well, it's going to be more defense like that. You know, we were flying around. We were covering for each other.
Green just missed a wide open shot.
In rhythm again. Jokic splash down. Jamal Murray with 19 in the game.
But there's no way.
Wow, at the other end quickly.
It's a good play by the Clippers, and there's no
George. Working against Porter Jr. lost it. Back out to Lou Williams. 5 on the clock. Over Jokic and scores it.
Bad shot. And defensively, you're doing me a favor by taking that.
Jamal Murray all the way to the bucket in the layup. Explode.
And they're trying to put Lou Williams into the pick and roll.
What a pass by Murray. They move it around. Jokic, high arcing 3. Butter. Nikola Jokic.
This Clipper team. And really, we've witnessed anything can happen in a game 7, which is a dangerous place to be.
Gary Harris, why not? Yes.
There we go. Denver coming back. They were 3-1 down, and they've tied that series at 3 games apiece. Nikola Jokic there with
Could say Daniel in that one. It was amazing how many times the Raptors managed to draw the foul, wasn't it? They really did. They really were drawing lots of +1s in that game. Was it game 5? I think it was. That was really impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Excuse me, I just lost my voice slightly there. Just some key stats. So Denver coming back from, so they've had 5 elimination games, which they've won in this post series. 3 consecutive games. They were down 3-1 against Utah, and they've won 2 consecutive games against LA. So they've matched the the Suns, Phoenix Suns in 93, who came back from 5 games where they were possibly going to get knocked out, and they won 5 consecutive games. In 1994, Denver Nuggets won 6. So if this Nuggets team wins tomorrow, they match that 1994 Nuggets team who won 6 games, which is the most of any team facing elimination. Also, Denver is the first team in NBA history to play a Game 7 in 4 straight playoff series. That obviously dates back to last year. This is also the Clippers, actually. The next stat is about them. So the Clippers are 0-6 all time when they could have clinched a trip to the playoff finals, so to the conference finals. So 0-6. They've lost 2. Will that be 0-7? Interesting to see what will happen there. It's hard to really believe that this Clippers team, who are talked about as potentially one of the strongest rosters in the competition, certainly the 2 big stars, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. There's a lot of people thinking they might take it out this year. So 3-1 up, we would have thought they had that. And if they do win that game, interestingly, again, with the first time 2 brothers face off against each other in the conference finals, Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris from the LA Lakers and the LA Clippers. They're actually twin brothers, and they look exactly the same. If you saw them walking together down the street, you wouldn't know who was who. You struggle to know who was who on the basketball court, apart from the fact they're wearing 2 different uniforms. Both start with M, one of those weird American things they do. So hard to know who's going to take that series out. We'll just bring up the playoff bracket. As you can see, the Lakers have gone through and will be facing the winner of this series in the Western Conference Finals. So Lakers are really going to have the advantage. They had 2 series that went to 5 games, so they've played 10 games. If the Nuggets get through that series, they've played 14 games. So obviously a lot more games in a short period of time. Clippers had a reasonably easy, well, they won 4-2 in their first series. Not quite as many games, so it's still more games than the Lakers. The Lakers should be quite fresh for that series. LeBron James in conference finals is pretty unstoppable. So it's hard. It's really hard to see one of those teams beating the Lakers with how dominant the Lakers have been in these playoffs. And yeah, it looks like LeBron may be off to another final series. Over in the East, Celtics and the Heat. I really think the Celtics are probably going to take that series out. The Heat have been phenomenal, but no one really expected the Heat to make it this far because they are quite a young team, apart from sort of 2 or 3 veterans on their squad. Iguodala, who won 3 titles with the Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler. Apart from that, there's a bunch of first, second, third-year players in that team who are sort of the bulk of their main rotation. So they've never been in the situation. There's going to be a lot more pressure in that finals than there has been. They're facing a Celtics team who's made 3 conference finals in the past 4 years. And this Celtics team is just, I think, ready to take that next step. So we might see a rerun of sort of a popular TV show in the 1980s, which was Lakers and Celtics facing off in the finals. I think there was six final series in the 1980s where the Lakers and the Celtics faced off in the NBA finals. So maybe it'll be the Clippers. Maybe they'll get their act together. I think the Clippers are going to win that game 7 against the Nuggets. I would like the Nuggets to win. I don't know if you can see. Got my Nuggets gears on tonight, but yeah, I just think it's going to be LA versus LA, and it's going to be really good. 2 really good final series, so looking forward to it. And I'll be back next week, 8 o'clock on New Zealand Sport Radio.
Well, a couple of questions before then, Dan. So yeah, obviously the nostalgia trip. If it is the Lakers versus the Celtics, do you think that's a good thing, or do you think or you like to see some of the newer teams or a bit of variety in there, or do you like the 80s nostalgia trip that might be happening?
Well, I was a big Lakers fan when Kobe Bryant played for them. And 10 years ago, the last time, actually, the Lakers made the conference finals. First time in 10 years. It's the longest the Lakers ever been without making conference finals. So they faced off against the Boston Celtics in a couple of final series there 10 years ago. And I loved it. I love the rivalry. It's the greatest rivalry in American sport. And there's been a lot of variety over the last few years. We've had the Warriors win a title. We had Toronto win their first title. Cleveland won a title. The Heat won a couple of titles in the 2010s. Spurs. So it has been shared around. And it's, yeah, I want it to be the Celtics and the Lakers, to be honest. I'd love to see that again. And I'll be cheering for the other team if that does happen. I was always a Lakers fan, but I just can't cheer for LeBron. I just can't do it. I'm sick of the saturation of LeBron James for the last 15 years, and I always support the team who is playing against.
Cool. Another one,
LeBron
I guess.
James,
That's annoying me is they keep talking about the paint, but they've not added graphics to the paint area. That really annoys me is that they've not painted in the paint. All the other graphics there, they're all virtual graphics, folks, because they do change it for each team to whoever the home team is. But yeah, do you think they should be painting the paint?
I don't know. I guess it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things in sport. Probably other sports have them as well. Like over the black dot. Do rugby posts still have a black dot in the middle of it? I don't think most of them do.
No.
You can tell me next week, Paul, how many rugby goalposts still have a black dot in the middle of it. It's one of those. Yeah, one of those things we talk about being inside the paint because traditionally that strip is painted, but obviously
not
2020 the paint isn't the paint anymore.
Dear shame. And to me, I don't know. I'm not a big. I don't watch a lot of basketball. There seems to be a lot of traveling in some of these games. Have they got laxer on that as to how many steps players can take? Because there seems to be quite a lot of traveling without bouncing the ball when they get near the basket.
That's one of the NBA things where they let a lot of things go for the sake of entertainment. Most of the dunks you see in transition, which one team breaks down the court, often you'll see LeBron James take 3 or 4 steps. You're only supposed to take 2.
Right.
International basketball is when you notice when they actually clamp down. So a lot of the American players adjust to that in international tournaments over the first few games. They're like, oh, that's right. They actually referee traveling in this basketball. So, yeah, one of those things, the NBA let them get away with it because they do spectacular things and it's good for ratings. But, yeah, if you watched any game and slowed it down and counted the amount of plays which had travels, it would be like sometimes you see little I should maybe do a clip of one of those. It's plenty on YouTube, but, someone puts together a compilation of people taking a ridiculous amount of steps that isn't called. So, yeah, might do that.
Thank you for that. Did you want to check? You had another set of stats to talk about. I don't know if you've.
I think that was basically it.
No. Okay.
Oh, Kemba. Yes. Last thing. So, Kemba Walker is the key to the Boston Celtics. He has underperformed over the last couple of playoff series. You see here his stats over the last 10 games. The graphic there is just a little bit small for me to read it, but I think it's like 15, which is well below 15 points over his last 10 games, which has been the playoffs, and not up to his usual standard where he's averaging 20 points a game, especially his field goal percentage. See there, his field goal percentage is well down in the 30s, where usually he's around that sort of 45% from the field mark. And so he just hasn't performed, and that Celtics team has got through without him before, because as I said last week, they've got a bunch of guys on that team who can step up, and Marcus Smart really has been playing out of his skin, above his usual standard. Jason Tatum is turning into that star everyone thought he would be. So, but I think if Kemba really plays well, and he's due for some really good games, I just think the Celtics are going to be far too strong for the Miami Heat. So he's a key guy for that Celtics team in that final series. And that's pretty much us, I think, Paul. So we'll see you next week on the Basketball Show.